Okay, so we're back on the channel. I think it's been a couple of days since my last video. I didn't record a video for the last game yesterday because I was pretty busy yesterday. And same thing today. I didn't watch the second half of the game, but I did watch the first half. So we're going to go over the first half, talking about the Pacers, talking about the box score overall and what I see from this Pacers team moving forward. But before we get into the video, I'd appreciate you guys drop a like, subscribe to the channel. I'd appreciate we're trying to grow this channel out to other Pacers fans. So I'd appreciate you guys drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and let's get into the video. So yeah, we'll start off with Isaiah Jackson. He had 12 points, 15 rebounds, 1 steal, and 2 blocks. Pretty great game overall from Isaiah Jackson. 4-9 from the field and 1-1 from 3. He's finally thriving. Isaiah Jackson, he's a high ceiling as, someone that's going to be a pretty high motor player, someone that's going to bring some high energy. He is only 20 years old, so he is a rookie, 6'10", 205 pounds. He was the second pick in the 2021 NBA draft by the LA Lakers, and then there was a trade. I'm not too sure what the trade was, but, the Pacers acquired him, and it looks to be a pretty great move as he's averaging around 8 points per game, 4 rebounds, and 0.3 assists. But he's been a surprising player in this draft class. This whole draft class has been, nothing short of amazing. As Cade Cunningham, Jalen Green, all the top 4 prospects have been balling. And, outside of the top 4, we got, Josh Giddey, we got Alperen Sengun, Josh Christopher, we got Chris Duarte. It's been a pretty hectic draft class, and probably one of the most talented we've seen in a while. So, and Isaiah Jackson, he's no exception because, he's been balling out, 12 points and 15 rebounds as the 22nd pick is pretty great. So, on to the next, we got Osha Brissett with 15 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, on 5 of 8 from the field and 3 of 5 from 3. Osha, he is a pretty streaky scorer. In the last few games, this is actually his first double-digit game since Sunday of last week. Yeah, March 6th. So he's been a pretty streaky shooter for this Pacers team. I'm not too sure what they're going to be doing with him moving forward. He is pretty young, but if he's unable to score in double figures each and every night, then I'm not too sure what's going to be happening with him. He's inconsistent. I'll just say that. Very inconsistent. If he's able to keep up that consistency, then maybe he might have a role in this team. But moving forward, I think Jalen Smith might be the better option because he has been pretty great for them off the bench and could be a potential starter. So Tyrese Halliburton with 25 points, 10 assists, 2 rebounds, 1 steal on 9 of 15 from the field and 3 of 5 from 3. Halliburton, a lot of pick and rolls today with Isaiah Jackson. The pick and roll with Isaiah Jackson is definitely his best move, but also his floater game because that's really just where he does his damage, but also his three-pointer because he's actually shooting the ball pretty great from 3, shooting at around 42% over the season. And overall, averaging around 15 points, 4 rebounds, and 8 assists. So, Halliburton, I think I said this in previous videos, but he is the future for this Pacers team. 40 minutes today, so the most out of any Pacers today. So, he's the future alongside Chris Duarte. Hopefully, he's a part of the future. I mean, Duarte, he's pretty cool. But he has been injury prone, and he is one of the older rookies of this draft class. So, next we got Buddy Hield with 25 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. He's been pretty much balling for this Pacers team, getting a lot more run. He's playing behind De'Aaron Fox or Tyrese. Well, I mean, he's playing behind Tyrese Halliburton, but he actually is thriving with the Pacers, averaging around 19 points per game, 5 rebounds, and around 6 assists on 47% from the field and 36% from the 3. So, his 3 ball went down. I wouldn't say a lot, but it's definitely the lowest in his career. But he is averaging a career high, almost a career high in points per game. That obviously being in 2018, 2019, where he scored 21 points per game. So this is basically a second best in his career. So Buddy Hield has been balling. Also pretty inconsistent. This game, he shot 45% from the field, but shot 28% from the 3. He's either hit or miss, it makes sense because he's a shooter. But moving forward, he's not going to be an integral piece to this Pacers team. He is around, I want to say 29 years old. Yeah, 29 years old. He doesn't fit in with the Pacers' future and what they're trying to build. And, I think as of right now, they could be looking to rebuild around Halliburton. But if they are looking to retool, then, Malcolm Brogdon and Buddy Hield are 2 pretty good pieces for that. So if they decide to retool in the offseason, Buddy Hield might be on this team moving forward. So finally, in the starting lineup, we got, what's his name? Terry Taylor, yeah. So Terry Taylor scored 16 points, 4 rebounds, 6 of 8 from the field, and 1 of 2 from 3. Haven't heard too much about this guy. Over the season, he's averaging around 8 points per game, 6 rebounds, and 1 assist. I haven't heard too much about this guy. He's been pretty quiet for most of the season. Looking at his previous games, he hasn't played since March 6th. since looking at this. Today is March 13th, so it's been around a couple of days since he played, but overall I haven't heard too much about this guy, so you guys can let me know if he's good. Terry Taylor, hopefully he could be a pretty good prospect for this team. Off the bench, only 3 players played because Duarte, Badadze, and Stevenson are all injured. So Jalen Smith, 13 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks on 5 and 9 from the field, and 1 of 4 from 3. Jalen Smith, he just continues to surprise me. He has been absolutely amazing for this Pacers team. He's been balling out, and in the last few games, he actually has been averaging almost a block a game in that stretch in the last 10 games. He's been amazing, and with the Pacers overall, he's averaging around, 13 points per game, 8 rebounds, and 1 assist. Pretty great stats for someone that's only 21 years old. Moving forward, I think they're going to re-sign this guy, and, some in my comments let me know that the Suns declined his player. What was the player option? I think he had a team option. Yeah, so the Suns declined his contract, and now he is basically a free agent, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult for him to sign with the Pacers in the offseason because he's going to want a little bit more money. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty tough decision in the offseason to keep Jalen Smith, but I believe they should keep him because he's been able to keep up this high level of play with his Pacers, and moving forward, I think he's going to be a pretty important piece if they decide to keep him. So, Jalen Smith, I think the Pacers should definitely keep him, especially with him and his skill set. And overall, he's one of my favorite players in the league to watch right now. So next, we got Dwayne Washington, 22 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal on 8 of 17 from the field and 4 of 9 from 3. So Dwayne Washington, he's been a surprise player for me. For this Pacers team, he hasn't been doing too much, 9 points per game, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. He hasn't been doing too much this season, but in the last 10 games, he's actually averaging around 9 points per game. In the last few games, he's actually been scoring in double figures, which is pretty interesting to me because I haven't heard too much about this guy either. Terry Taylor and Dwayne Washington are 2 players I haven't heard of, but they've both been balling apparently. And looking at it right now in the month of March, he's actually averaging around 13 points per game, 1 rebound and 1 assist. So if off the bench he can keep this high level of play alongside TJ McConnell whenever he comes back, then I think he could be a pretty cool piece for this Pacers team. But overall, the Pacers, they are, I wouldn't say in a great spot, but definitely not in a worse spot. They are 23-46. Their next game is against the Memphis Grizzlies on Tuesday. So hopefully they can pull out a win against John Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies and go Pacers. So that's the video. I'm GAC. Peace.